excited all week, you know, thinking about the greatness that we're going to hear tonight. You're gracing us with your presence, with your knowledge, and we are ready to go, honey.
You
I
look
let the people
good.
know that you are an author. Go purchase your book on Amazon, okay? You are a podcast host. You are a screenwriter of your own movie, which is on Amazon. Hello. This girl, she gets to the shmoney, okay?
Hey, I'm waiting for it.
Yes. So, can you kind of introduce yourself in the facets of you? Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, everybody. We haven't been here for long. This is Miss Tera Chantelle, and I was just sharing with the people who this beautiful Black queen is outside of my friend. Can you explain the facets of you and some of the things that you do, and we'll just go from there.
You hit it on the head, naming all the things I have just accomplished this year. And I'm just so grateful for the space that we are in together and the journey that we are on. You know that we met each other working. We met each
No.
other going after our goals and going after our dreams. And it's amazing that we're not stopped. And that just shows our goal-oriented attitude and just our mindset.
Exactly. Yes, and we are working to give. We are taking the lead because we are after the bag. Okay.
All of that. All of it.
Yes, because guess what? We have royal purpose.
What? Oh, that just flows so great.
Yes, yes. And I wanted to get right into it. You know, I watched your movie and I just wanted you to give a breakdown like what royal purpose means to you and what Black integrity means and how those two things collide.
I'm glad you noticed that. So throughout the whole film, we were rocking Black integrity. Black integrity is a moral and a code of ethics that I feel like we all should get on together. Because when we all have our Black integrity, we're going to have our Black mind. Any opposition get in the way, any separation to our own kind get in the middle of that. So I feel like I wanted to hit on Black integrity, and that shows the dynamic of the whole film of Royal Purpose. I honestly feel like we should stick together. It brings light on the Black women, how we hold our brothers down.
We do.
And you know, and I seen a amazing quote that Black women cannot just be your shield and your target. Because really being their shield, but then they be having a target over us. Because they haven't done the self-work, they haven't healed themselves, so they taking that all out on Black women. But Black women, you come out of a Black woman, so the least you can do is have respect for them. Yeah. And I bring light to the media and how they portray Black people and Black couples and Black relationships. And I really push Black love because they try to separate us by any means necessary. They're trying to separate Black families because they know that dynamic. When we come together, we are going to be superior. We're going to gain our clarity. We're going to gain our power back. So I wanted to bring that together and bring light to the situation of Black love.
Yes, and you did that, and I love to see it. You know, that's what I'm all about. I was fortunate to come up in a 2-parent household, and so I have that foundation. And even for people that may not have that background, like you gave that to them in that movie, like just showing the dynamics, the male, the female, and how you come together in the royalness in that. So I really appreciate it. I loved it. And outside of the name and the purpose in it, I love that you took it home. You know, this girl, which I don't know, it wasn't just simple. Like she went out and she said, I'm gonna get this person and that person. She went and did the work, the footwork, and got her own cast right. Like you paid for everything. Like you really went in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this was no games this way. When God gives you an idea, you have to act on it, you have to execute. It's no half step in this way. Put your money where your mouth is, and I really believe that. And that's what we did. We just put our money where our mouth is, and we just invested it right back into self, right back into creating our own media, because that's what we need the most. We need our own media outlets, and we have to control the narrative. We have to write our own scripts instead of waiting for Hollywood to cast us. You already
exactly. Exactly. And like we had that growing up, fortunately, but like that's what I love about this time that we're living in. We don't have to wait on anybody. We can take the lead. We can work out gifts. That's what Work Your Gifts platform is all about. And reading your book. Oh my God. Do you know, girl, I thought we was the same mind. When I read your book, I was like, this is the same thing God has been saying to me.
Wow.
Work your gifts. Like, it's just worded in a different way. Just like how people say, if God give you a gift, you work that gift. And if you don't work it, somebody else will work it. And then sometimes when you working it, somebody else too is working a similar gift. So like, I like how you talked about that too, and not being jealous of one another and coming together and just being open on your platform to be open to me on my platform. Because when I read that, it sounds like we have the same mind, the same vision, and we just worded it a different way.
Yes. And I agree. I feel like we all have all the answers within. Sometimes people just come to us as reminders. And that's
Yeah.
all self-love manual is, just a reminder of all the answers that we already have within ourselves. But society tries to get us away from our truest self and our most authentic self. So we got to get out of the programming system that they try to push us in with the media, with the television, with the music. They have truly brainwashed us, dumb us down, so we can just be robots, so we can just be workers, so we don't step into our power like this.
Yes, I agree totally. And I can see why when you are brainwashed and you're focusing on which, it's I think it's a generational thing too. And then where you're coming from, because if you have a foundation and parents who are pushing that, which I'm going to do for my children, then you'll know to promote that self-love and that self-worthiness and working your gifts and things like that. But like, I came from a background, my parents, they encouraged me and everything, but that was the generation at the time. They thought this is the way to success, is to get an education, to graduate, and to go on and work on somebody's job. Although I must say, my father, whose birthday is today, happy birthday, Daddy.
Happy birthday, Dad!
Yes, real true Virgo, and I love him because
Oh,
that man right there, he pushed me. Speaking of my father, he pushed me. He is a godly man as well. And before I moved here, I'm not from Atlanta either. Before I moved here, the word that he brought forth that day about basically working your gifts. So I've been hearing working your gifts all along before I even started promoting it. But it's the word, you know what I'm saying? Work your Proverbs 18:16, work your gifts and it will make room for you. And my father talked about that. And I don't know, it was just like a light bulb went off in my mind. And I just felt like I could do anything. Like when you have a black man who just so happens to be your father saying this, like, and who is connected to your heavenly father, then it's the right thing. And I felt confident to up and move. Like, I had no family here. I had no job. In matter of fact, I had a car and my car got hit a week before I moved. And so therefore I had no transportation. So I was walking on faith for real.
you didn't let that stop you whatsoever.
Yes. But getting back to my point, so I happen to have somebody in my household to push me and encourage me. But for those who do not have that, I appreciate people like you for bringing that light and sharing with the people your foundation. Whether you got it from home or somewhere, you met someone along the way, what have you, you grasp that concept and now you're sharing it with the people. And I appreciate that.
Yes, I realized like we have to go through a stage of unlearning and relearning, because once I stepped out, exactly how just moving away from home, you got to figure out a lot of stuff. You're living alone, so nobody
Yes.
in your ear telling you what to do, telling you what to believe. You got to believe your own thoughts, and you have to face yourself in the mirror. What do you believe in? Are you okay with being alone and being in your own thoughts and your own solitude? So me having this whole place to myself, I seeked knowledge. That's all I wanted to do, is learn about myself, learning about the gifts I have, learning about God, man, because everything is connected to God and the source. Because right now we're in a spiritual warfare. If you're
We
not tapping
are.
spiritually, you going through it. I know you are. You are
Yes.
either have anxiety, depressed, you feeling anxious, you don't know where this world is going because you're not moving on faith. You are
Exactly.
world, so you're of it. So me being so tapped in spiritually, I have detached myself from the ego, so I'm not phased by everything that's going on.
Yes, yes, and to touch on what you said about the different feelings you're feeling when you're not a believer and you're not tapped in. Like, I see it firsthand because I work with the public in healthcare, and sickness in the ways that you said it bring about other things and eventually death. So like, when you're tapped in and when you're standing on the shoulders of Jesus, then you already know you're gonna be taken care of. You have peace, you have joy. Like, it's so crazy. Like, and I could speak firsthand with that. Like, in the beginning, I felt like it's different. Like, normally when I would go do something outside of my home, it was to fulfill or network towards my gift. And then so it was just a little lapse, like, what do I do now? But when this whole thing, the virtual interaction came about, where we was like left with that being the only choice, it was like, okay, now I'm ready to go back in hard with what I was doing. Yeah. So I have joy in my life has actually been greater than since the COVID-19, aka Rona, came in. So it's just a blessing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And that's exactly how I look at it. It's a blessing in disguise.
It just goes with everything, like you talk in your book. Like, I just want to cry, and I tried to leave you a great review, by the way, because it wasn't, I couldn't even put it into words how I felt when I finished reading. Like, and I feel like it's so amazing how, with me creating this Work Your Gifts platform, and the people that just, it seemed like it just happened to work out where certain people was coming behind one another. The young lady I had on last week, she talked about self-worth, knowing your worth, and you mentioned that in the book, and you kept talking about being unstoppable, like, and it tied in how the self-love comes into play with that. And I love that. And like, the self-worth, knowing your self-love, and like, you just gave like a breakdown and the foundation of that. Like, can you talk about that a little bit more for the people?
Self-love manual came about because I realized we got a manual for our car, we got a manual how to fix the refrigerator, but we don't got this self-love manual.
Yes.
Like, okay, let me create it. And that's what it has to be. If you see a problem, be a solution. And I have noticed that we lack self-love in all areas in life, whether it's men and women. We seek relationships, we seek other things externally instead of looking for all the answers that is within. And once I did my self-love journey, I was on my self-love journey for about 5 years, still on it, and I'm in love with it. I see this internal glow that I have, and I wanted to share it. I had to share it. All the knowledge that I was just seeking, I needed to share that, bring it out, and put it into words. And actually, I always wanted to write a book, but how you said, COVID was the best thing that has happened to people who are about that life, who is about that action, who's not just talking about it. You got more time. God has placed more time on your days to get to it. So whatever you wanted to accomplish during this time, I hope you accomplished it, because this was the time. And you're going to see who was really working and who was really building in this time of solitary, in this time of solitude, being away and social distancing. If you was really getting yourself together, because this was all the time where was a self-reflection and reflecting on your own self, gaining clarity within yourself, gaining the self-love, gaining the self-knowledge. It really all starts with self. Everything that we can accomplish within us, we have to stop limiting ourselves and having this limited beliefs. But that's, them self-doubts be so real.
They
so
are.
Sometimes we are in war with ourselves. I was in war with the world than in war with myself. And so it's okay to say no. It's okay to put yourself first. And it's okay to not even explain yourself when people want you to kick it, when people want you to do certain things. If it doesn't align with your purpose, then you don't have to do anything. And that's where I want us to get to, a place with our purpose, because once you step into your purpose, you're going to move different. You are going to watch how you drive in this world because you are purpose driven. You're going to watch how you steer. So that's where we all have to step in. And it all starts with just loving on you, your flaws and all. We are not perfect, and don't try to make yourself out to be that. Own yourself, own your faults, and that's what people gonna gravitate to you the most, is you being you.
Yes, and they can see what's real and what's fake. That's why I understand why people fake. And I remember it was a time, you know, growing up, you trying to find yourself, like, truly and honestly. And my mama let me know, you know, because I came from her. So she pretty much kind of schooled me, like, this is how it is. But, you know, sometimes you have to let people find out on their own. So when I was growing up and I was trying to fit in, I never could.
Yeah.
And I finally came to a point where I was okay with that, because when I viewed it, it was like, me fitting in, I can't be myself. I know who I am enough where I recognize that I'm trying to fit in and I'm not even myself. And then it was like the negative part of that. If I gotta fit in, I gotta talk about somebody to fit in, then I don't want to fit in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like an energy drainer.
All out here.
Yes.
Because that's exactly where they want us to go. They want us to be workers. They want us to just be consumed in what's going on in this world. And that's where it has to just stop. And I just took a stance to it, like, I'm not about to just be in this matrix any longer.
So how long would you say that you recognize, like, what it is and what you need to be doing, like what your purpose was, and how long have you been on track with that?
Yes, I'm still figuring things out day by day. I don't think we're ever going to have everything all figured out. And that's what I give myself the grace, and I give myself the patience to just take things day by day. Every single day, just learning who is Tera Chantelle from the core, besides all this external things, and just detaching myself from the flesh, detaching myself from the ego every single day, and stepping into what God wants me to do, not what I want to do, not what my ego wants me to do. What does God truly want me to do? And just learning that, I'm like, wow, God, you know, God wants me to teach the people. It's not about me. God gets all the glory. I'm just the vessel.
Exactly.
And I have the wisdom, because all it is I'm just being obedient and having the wisdom that God has placed within me, and I'm just speaking on it, and I'm just speaking the truth on what is true for me. It may not be true to everybody else, but what feels right for me, I live what I talk about. So it's not just, you know, how people can just preach, but you're not actually living it. You got to practice what you're preaching. So that's how you can just be an example of everything you're talking about. So just how you said, you can tell who's real and fake. You can talk a good game all you want, but are you really living it though?
Exactly.
So it's so much easier when you are just let your actions speak for yourself. Let your work speak for yourself. And that's what I do every day. And just what is on my heart today, I'm going to just do that and just let the work speak for itself, and just living a righteous life.
Yes. How do you do, like, I understand where you coming from, because I'm one part of that is being a believer. And I know, you know, us being in this world, we have to bring the spirit person with the natural man. How do you explain to somebody who might not have that spirit man yet in tune with that spirit man to get in tune with that spirit man? Like, how did you do it?
I would truly separate myself from everything that is distracting you, pulling you away from your truest self. Rather that is TV, rather that is the music, rather that is Netflix, whether that is the club. Detach yourself from all the worldly activities that tries to pull you away from getting closer to yourself. You got to give yourself all the attention. Figure out who you are. And it's okay to just be still and be in silence. Sometimes we got to start physically. That's how I started on my journey. I started just building up the strength and my strength's capacity, building up working out. Once you look good, you're gonna feel good. So, okay, I look good, but my mind's not right. So let me get my mind right. And then you start developing a stronger mindset. And I would love for everybody to develop a moral compass about yourself. You gotta know your morals and your beliefs and your values so you don't sway out here, so you don't fold, and you don't just fall into victim mode and fall under the circumstances this world tries to push you under. So that's where you have to identify what is your beliefs and what is your values. And I believe in myself, so I'm gonna bet it all on myself. But a lot of times that's why people don't tap in, because they don't even believe in themselves.
Yes, and I love you talk how you talked about in the book with not falling into whatever everybody else doing that's living in this social media era, and just like, you know, you think you got to take your clothes off because that's what you saying, you know what I'm saying? And it like hit home for me with that, because even though I'm in tune, like sometimes how you talked about fear and you get it in your own way, like I have to stay humble and I have to like reel myself back in mentally sometimes. Like I know it look like these people on top, or they you see these people everywhere, but they taking their clothes off. What are you gonna do different that's gonna make you stand out? And then you got to know every time you put something out there, that's a representation of you, and who are you representing? You know what I'm saying? So that keeps me intact. Like that hit me hard when I read that.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Body doesn't even belong to us. God just blessed us with this opportunity to tackle this world with this lovely vehicle. But why are you not?
Say that again, girl. Say that again.
Lovely vehicle,
Yes.
just this world. And why are you not treating it with love, respect, and desire? And that's where it has to start with. How do you treat your body? And of course, now we're on this movement of being feminine, and that's liberating to women. But we are internal beings, so we can't just be out here giving our body away to these men, trying to sell our body to men, trying to take our clothes off for that to be liberating. It's so much power in just your confidence as a woman, being strong, not swaying, and not being a weak woman. It's so much more confidence and so much more desirable to men when you are just tapped into yourself and not depending on a man to make you feel beautiful. A lot of times it seems to me as that women get these plastic surgeries for men. It don't even get yourself. So it's just like that's seeking insecurity for me. And that's when you have to, because I know I'm beautiful and I would never even put my body through that pain just for a man. And at the end of the day, all you're going to do is attract a shallow being. And I'm good on that.
Exactly, but it's so funny, you know. It go both ways. It's important, the points that you made about a man, but also you can attract the wrong females in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like since I've been on this whole journey with work your gifts and everything, it has even had me to level up, like with my experiences and what I read. Like it's no way I can be telling the people to work your gifts and I'm not working mine. Yeah. And then the things that you have to go through to learn what it takes to work your gifts, like the sacrifices. Like tonight, I was tired. I was like, man, do you want to do this or not? Because you got to do this regardless if you tired or what. Like this is not for you. This is a service for the people. And in the meantime, it's a service to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what's funny about it. You thinking you helping other people, but you helping yourself too.
Yes.
I'm having to be more in tune spiritually, mentally, physically. Like I have to read more and educate myself. And I think my energy has been attracting more people like that. Yes. You know, like you know, just us coming full circle with our friendship. We met a few years ago, and I see what you be doing and everything, and you know your podcast, and you always influencing the people and inspiring them. But you know, just to have that rapport with you, like I feel like that's a part of it, you know, me being on this journey. And do you feel like that, like what I'm saying, and who are some of the people that you feel like you look to for encouragement? And is there something that you read to keep you inspired?
Yes, yes. Like, I feel like it's not a coincidence who we meet on our journey. It's truly just means that we're headed in the right direction. Like, we met multiple times just
We
going.
did.
Yes, so that it's destined. It's not a coincidence. It's not by chance. This was meant to happen. This was set in stone, and we just answered the call when God called us every time, and we just showed up. And that's what it has to be. We just got to continue to show up for our gifts and for ourselves. So then you don't know what's going to happen once you just show up. Plenty more opportunities going to come. But what if you just be like, I'm tired. I want to do what I want to do. But that's what,
Yes.
like, what does God want you to do? So you got to step away from self and not be so selfish and realize, okay, God, I'm a listen to you, even though I'm tired, even though I really would rather sleep right now. But that comes with sacrifice. You reap what you sow at the end of the day. So all of our hard work is not going in vain. It's all getting planted. The flowers is blossoming.
Yes.
And it's so divine. It's
It
so divine.
is. It's
But
so.
I really look at all of my peers, everyone who is on my TL. I just get so inspired. I just know so many dope people, and we're all doing great and abundant opportunities, amazing things, and I just get so inspired. And I'm like, yes, because it's so much money out here. It's so much opportunity out here because you have your platform, I have my platform. We can collaborate. Like, let's just get it. Like, all we can just do is continue to go up.
Yes. And I love how you talked about, you know, you being in tune with self and like getting direction and everything. It brings me to the point, like, you know, the 18th was Women's Voting Rights Day. You know, it wasn't necessarily Black women, let that be known, but it was women. And
Right.
so, like, I look at it that even that, like, in the election coming up, like, we have to know who we are to know who to follow, you know, as far as the presidency is concerned and things like that. So I
Right.
think it's just a beautiful thing, like, that you so in tune, like, that you will be, like, you may make mistakes here and there, but for the most part, you'll be on the narrow and the straight. Like, do you know how many people I know who have no idea, like, that it's just like they living, like, they have no direction.
It's so unfortunate because we all know what we should be doing. I feel like we all know what we should be doing, what we are good at. Rather, it's just the hobby that you like to do for fun. But it really is like a distraction that tries to get us in the way. I feel like the devil be coming in through people, through things, through entertainment. You gotta identify and have that discernment so you don't fall in place when you get tested, so you can pass each test. But I have noticed a lot of times people don't want to be righteous, so they want to go down the wrong path. And we all make choices, but it's just like, choose the best and most wisest choice. And we all have the inner wisdom. Like, we all have the wisdom of what is right for us and what will be the best decision in the long term for us. We can't just think so temporary. I think long term. So that's how I move and that's how I operate, is longevity. How things is gonna go is straight. It's gonna go up. All we can do is literally.
Yes, because that is the what? The primary source.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes. So I was just looking at also you talked about self-discovery and finding your gift. Can you elaborate on that? Because I feel like this is the thing that I'm always trying to promote. Work your gift. But some people, they're like, what does that mean? And if they read your book, I feel like you give a breakdown of what that really means. Can you explain what self-discovery means and how it relates to your gift?
self-love manual, I try to keep it as short, simple, straight to the point, because a lot of times we get our short attention span is be like in and out. So self-discovery, step into that internal being of who you are. And you're going to have to explore yourself, and you're going to have to try things. Rather it's modeling, acting, which lane do I want to go in? Talk show, hosting, just communicating. I was trying everything, exploring all of my gifts, exploring what I was good at and what put my spirit in so much ease and what was so comfortable for me. And you can't be afraid to be judged or to feel like, oh well, I don't have enough experience. Well, you have to start somewhere.
That's true.
We all gonna have to be day one at something. You can just be day one, or you can just begin and just do that, because that's just the learning process, and that's how the game goes. So I was never discouraged off of when I had to be the day one at something. I was learning, and I was just being a student of life, and that's where it has to be in your discovery stage. Be a student. Be able to listen, be able to soak in the game, be able to soak in the knowledge that is given to you and presented to you, so you can discover your gifts, so you can just tap into a different side of you and learning more and more about yourself every day. Be willing to learn, be willing to seek knowledge, seek information. Y'all, I'm on YouTube University every day, because there's so much knowledge out here, so much game out here, and realizing what information resonates with me, because we all have a topic that we just relate so at home to us, whether it's politics, whether it's self-love, whether it's finances for people. Mine is spiritual and self-love for me. So, and those are the topics that is at home and that is comfortable for me to speak on. I can't speak on the politics. I'm not even watching what's going on and what's happening. You got to know your lane, and you got to know where do you fit in at. But that goes with learning who you are and discovering different gifts, different talents that you are good at. But you can be good at so many different things, and I wouldn't limit yourself. I wouldn't put a cap on the gifts. I would not box yourself in. Sky's the limit. Do not play small out here.
Honey, you was talking to me when you said that, because that's been one of my things. You know, all your life you hear, oh, I'm a jack of all trades. I see some messages people wrote. Natalie said divine interaction.
Yes.
Man, like that hit right there, because my thing has been, where do I fit in? Like you said, like, what is it? You hear all your life, jack of all trades, but are you a master of anything? Like, and do you focus on the mastery? But you just answer that question, like, work all your gifts. You know what I'm saying? And how do you find a balance, Tara, like with working all your gifts?
Rather, it's like social life, your relationship life, the love for yourself. I try to incorporate by balancing everything is by having a to-do list. So
yes.
Doing a to-do list every single day helps me stay focused. Like today, we have to film this. I have to have a photo shoot. Just what I have to focus on today, so it can align up with the long-term vision that I have within myself. So we don't get overwhelmed out here. Like, oh, I have to do all this stuff. I want to be a business owner. I want to build my brand up. I have to build this website. Well, start with making your logo. Start with signing up on a Wix.com. Like, just start small so we don't get overwhelmed out here. So we can balance every gift that we have. Whether you have to take pictures today, whether you have to film a segment today, like, just identify the small things so it can add up to the long-term goals that we have in our life. That's what I be doing.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Like, you know, I don't know at what point when I started becoming a young adult that I did the to-do list, because I was like, man, when I started doing this to-do list, I remember when I was a child, and I remember everything from something I wanted to what my parents told me. You just remember everything. So that to-do list comes in handy, because when I do a to-do list, like you said, it helps me keep focus. And I even talk about that on my podcast that I posted yesterday.
Yes.
talking about to-do lists and even having an accountability partner, you know what I'm saying, and being in a circle of people who are focused, you know what I mean, who can help you build in your levels of what you're doing, you know. Like, that's why I miss school so much. Like, I got to the point where people calling me a professional student at one time. And I was actually graduating from the schools I was attending, but I used to love school so much, you would have thought I was a teacher or whatever. But that was one of my things, is the knowledge that you learn. And so even though I'm not in school now, we have to take that knowledge, like you said, whether it's YouTube or what have you, and to continue to grow, because I think that's key, is continuing to grow. You have to grow and advance. And you talked about in your book reinventing yourself. You know, can you elaborate, what does that mean to like your brand and who you are and self-love?
Yes, reinventing yourself is so key, especially on this journey. It's okay to revamp yourself. All a part of self-discovery and learning and experiencing your true self. Like, last year, I thought totally different than how I do right now. And just off of dealing with COVID-19, you have to adapt to these different situations and reinvent the wheel, reinvent what is gonna work right now for your brand. Okay, now we're moving to virtual because everybody's scared to go outside. So let me be flexible. Let me be adaptable and maneuver in this world. And I can't stay stagnant and stay what I want to do because I'm not used to change. That's what a lot of people, I feel like, fear is change, but change is what's going to help you grow. We can't be comfortable out here. We have to continue to reinvent things, and we have to, if plan A doesn't work out, you're not going to move to plan B. You're going to figure out another way to do plan A. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't just, well, plan A didn't work out, let me go to plan C. No, we're going to finesse this and get right to it, how it's supposed to be done. Maybe I'm not going to get it that way, but I'm going to get it that way. How we have different detours in life, you're going to find another way to get to your exit, though. So just ways like that, it's going to be detours, it's going to be obstacles that get in the way, but you're going to have to maneuver and find another way to get to your destination.
Yes, that's beautiful. And how I think about that is like getting in the car and putting your GPS on. Sometimes it gives you detours and you go down a dead end road and stuff like that, but you know, like, the GPS, the address is the full vision, and you just got to find out how to get there. Like, you know, what Work Your Gifts, for example, this platform, like, I know the vision that God has given me for this. I don't know what's in between, but those are some key points you just made, like how to get there. Because I always heard, you know, if plan A don't work, go to B. I never heard, like, break it down, finesse it, like, find a way, until I heard Eddie Murphy on an old interview one time, and he was talking about I think Arsenio Hall, this is real old, as you can see, it was like Arsenio Hall show, and he was asking Eddie, like, what would you have been if you wasn't a comedian? And he said, I wouldn't have been anything. He said, my goal, my dream was to be a comedian, and so that was always my plan, A, B, C, D, whatever. So, like,
it was get done regardless.
Exactly.
It was gonna get done, and that's what it has to be. You have to be so determined and understand things is not gonna go your way, but be okay with that and just be flexible when the obstacles do present itself, when the tests get presented to yourself. Be able to pass these tests and go about your day. But it's all about believing in yourself and just not giving up. I feel like giving up is just not an option, and it doesn't really exist to me.
Yeah, and I wrote down some. Look, I've told you, I was all in your book, girl. I felt like I was in school dissecting a paper. Like, y'all go get her book, man. I can't say it enough because this book was so good. I had to make notes. You know how you read something, sometimes you like, I'm gonna keep it here, but I had to make notes because of the influence keyword that you have and that you talked about. And can you break down, like, how influence brings knowledge, and how knowledge brings finances. Hence why working your gifts is so important, so that you can find self, so that you can influence and get to that bag.
Yes. Hey, once you have the influence, you have the power. What you need, all we really do is want attention. You know, whether you have want good attention or bad attention, once you got the people's attention, that means you got the influence to for people to help you, support you, so you can share the knowledge, share the wisdom that God has placed within your life. That's what we really want, especially nowadays, because everybody's attention span is like this. So once you're able to have the influence on people, that's why now you see all the newest trend right now is an influencer. I have never heard about an influencer when I was back in high school, but now since social media, they see, okay, well, people are actually looking up to this person. People actually view this person as a role model. Whatever this person is wearing, they want to wear it. Whatever this person is doing, they see this as valuable. But it comes a time where once you have the influence, they see you as valuable. That's where it has to be. You have to be valuable out here, so you can grab people's attention, so people can respect you and reciprocate you. And that's why I always try to just lead by example, because I'm not trying to tell people what to do, how to live their life. All I am is a vessel. All I am is just doing what God told me to do, is being obedient. And I'm just going to share the message. I'm just going to create content talking about God. I'm going to create content talking about self-love. I'm going to create content by writing this book. And if you read it, you read it. If you watch it, you watch it. But I did my job, and I gave you value. And that's what it is. I don't be needing all the money in the world. I know that I'm valuable, and I understand money's going to come. But you got to up your value in life. And that means you got to give everything you got within yourself. So now people can view you as an influence, because you have given so much. You have given your life on the line just to help somebody else grow.
Yes, and hence being the solution, as you said in your book. And I love that, because when you have a solution, then you already know that you got your problem worked out. You know, that's all that it is I like how you talked about our gifts is basically not for us. It's to serve, it's to be the solution to somebody else's problem.
Yes.
So I love that. I love your book.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and we got about 9 minutes to go. I just wanted you to talk about some of your inspirations, and how do you encourage other people to do some of the things that you're doing, that Tera Chantelle is doing.
Oh, see, this is where Take the Lead podcast come about, by just leading by example and gaining the leadership skills. All I am going to do is just do what God told me to do. And if you relate to it, if it inspires you, if you grab a nugget or two out of here, then it was for you. And all I did was just give the glory to God and let God just lead the way. Every time before I film anything, I pray. I thank God. God used me. I thank you so much for this opportunity. Every opportunity that gets presented, I'm just so thankful, and I'm just full of gratitude, because I understand one opportunity leads to another opportunity, but you have to just show up for the opportunities to gain more opportunity.
Yes.
I just show up every day. I show up to what I have to do. I be about that action. I'm about my word, because that's all we got at the end of the day is our word. Yes. So our bond is our word. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that comes with having Black integrity. And that's having that integrity about yourself, having the morals, and truly just living as that example. I strongly believe that we are all meant to lead and just be leaders. But of course, now the latest thing in social media, they want us to be followers. They don't want us to just lead the way and just lead to a righteous path. So being mindful of that and being conscious of what the programming system society has placed in us, I said, okay, let me just do me, but do me the right way. And that's all I'm just doing, is just doing me, honestly, but living a righteous way.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Again, I'm so inspired, Tara. You have such a sweet spirit, but I can tell you have a lion embedded in there, and it just be coming out, and you
The
just
lion.
shining. And I love it, and I'm just glad to be in your presence, and that you were here tonight to share everything that you've experienced and how you gotten this far and where you're going. And so for anybody who wants to keep up with Miss Tera Chantelle, how may they do so?
My social network is Tera Chantelle, TeraChantelle.
Yay!
I had to spell it out. I had to spell it out. I'm on YouTube, Twitter. You can really dive into Twitter, get my thoughts, how I talk, all that. Hey, I'm fully active on all platforms, honestly, because I understand the power in social media. So I'm active.
Yes, and how can are they able to get your Black Integrity book t-shirt?
Yes, it's actually on Amazon. See, I don't even be promote. See, I'm not really a salesperson.
Well, I'm gonna promote you, girl. I'm gonna do it. Because I know the goal is to serve, but we also trying to get to that bag. So the fact that you have these gifts, that you have these pieces of you, like your book and your t-shirt, I want people to know.
Yes.
So if it's a way for them to get your shirt, let them know. Let them know that you're on Amazon and they can watch your movie. Let them know your book is on Amazon and make that purchase, please.
See, I took full advantage of Amazon because Jeff Bezos, he out here balling. So I'm like, let me get a little bit of that, little bit. So everything from the shirt, from Royal Purpose, and till my book, all on Amazon. All you gotta do is literally type in Tera Chantelle. Everything is gonna pop up on Amazon. We out here, baby.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Well, I'm about to wrap it up, y'all. This is Tori Sharice with Miss Tera Chantelle, author, writer, actress, podcast host of Take the Lead and Bad Talk Session. Y'all check her out.